Ram 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare.
Ram Ram
Hare
Hare
Krishna Krishna Hare Ram Ram. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare.
Krishna 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 Hare Hare Ram Hare
Krishna
Ram
Krishna Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Hare
Hare Krishna 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 Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare.
Krishna Hare Hare
Krishna Krishna Hare Ram Ram. Hare
Krishna Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Ram Ram Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare
Hare Krishna Krishna Krishna
Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Krishna
Hare
Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram
Vancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhya eva cha patitanam
Hare Krishna
pavanebhyo
Krishna Krishna
vaishnavebhyo
Hare Ram Ram
namo
Hare Hare.
namaha.
Hare Krishna Krishna
Anantakoti Vaishnav Vrinda ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. प्रेम से कहो जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद की जय. All glories to all the assembled devotees. Please accept my humble obeisances. This is Chinmayi Vrajapriya Devi Dasi from Charlotte, welcoming all of you to this mid-morning japa session. I thank all of you for joining this call, and please forgive me for interrupting all your ecstatic chanting. Now it is time for us to move on to our next session, which is a class on Caitanya Bhagavat. So before we do that, may I know who all have joined the call today so that I can welcome you?
Hare Krishna Chinmayi Vrajapriya Mataji. Please accept my humble obeisances. Jai Shri Prabhupada. This is Preeti Vilasini Devidasi from Atlanta, and thanks to everyone.
Hare Krishna, Preeti Vilasini Devidasi Mataji. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada, all glories to Srila Gurudev. Thank you, Mataji, and welcome to the call.
Hare Krishna Chinmayi Vrajapriya Mataji, Dandavat Pranam, all glories to Srila Prabhupada. This is Vinita Gandharvika Devidasi from Texas.
Hare Krishna, Vinita Gandharvika Mataji. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada, all glories to Srila Gurudev. Welcome to the call, Mataji, and thank you for your association.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandavat Pranam, so glories to Srila Prabhupada, Guru Maharajas and all the assembled Vaishnavas. This is Kirtida Sundari Dasi.
Hare Krishna, Kirtida Sundari Mataji. Welcome to the call. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada, all glories to Srila Gurudev. Thank you, Mataji, for your association.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandavat Pranam. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada and Shri Guru and Gauranga and all the assembled devotees. Yashamati from Chicago.
Hare Krishna, Yashamati Mataji. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada, all glories to Srila Gurudev. Welcome to the call, Mataji, and thank you.
Hare Krishna Mataji, please accept my humble obeisance. All glories to Srila Prabhupada, glories to all the devotees and Guru and Gauranga. This is Shashidhar joining from Texas. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Shashidhar Prabhu. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada, all glories to Srila Gurudev. Welcome to the call, Prabhuji, and thank you for joining.
Hare Krishna Vajpriya Mataji. Please accept my humble obeisances. Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Guru and Gauranga ki jai. This is Shivani from Ashburn, Virginia. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Shivani Mataji. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada, all glories to Srila Gurudev. Welcome to the call, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Chinmayi Vrajapriya Mataji. Dandavat Pranam. Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Guru Maharaj ki jai. This is Shyama Gauri Devi Dasi from Charlotte.
Hare Krishna, Shyama Gauri Mataji. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada, all glories to Srila Gurudev. Thank you, Mataji, and welcome to the call.
Hare Krishna Chinmayi Vrajpriya Mataji, Dandavat Pranam to you and all Vaishnava.
Srila Prabhupada, Srila Gurudev ki jai. Vrinda.
Hare Krishna, Vrinda Gopika Mataji, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada, all glories to Srila Gurudev. Welcome to the call and thank you for your association, Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandavat Pranam, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. This is Gary in Montana.
Hare Krishna, Gary Prabhuji, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada, all glories to Srila Gurudev. Welcome to the call, Prabhuji, and thank you for joining. Hare Krishna, devotees. Let's move on to our next session. Today we have our class on Chaitanya Bhagavat by His Grace Adi Gadadhar Das Prabhuji. Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Welcome to the call and thank you so much, Prabhuji, for giving your valuable time and association and enlightening us today. Eagerly waiting to hear from you, as your classes are always so instructive and so enlightening. We wait for it. And before I hand over the call to you, I would like to read Srila Prabhupada's quote today, Prabhuji, with your permission.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you, Prabhuji. So today's quote is, whatever Krishna said, that is good, and everything else is bad. Bas, our confusion is finished. This was said by His Divine Grace at Bhuvaneshwar on January 23rd, 1977. So, Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, I hand over the call to you. And today, Prabhuji will be talking on Chaitanya Bhagavat, Adi Khanda, chapter 16th, texts 41 to 43. Please take over, Prabhuji, and thank you once again for your association. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Chinmay Vrashpriya Mataji, my humble obeisances to you. Thank you very much for hosting this Harikatha. My gratitude to my dear sister, Priti Vilasini Mataji, for giving me this opportunity to speak on Sri Chaitanya Bhagavat. Let us get started with Mangalacharan prayers. Om Ajnanatirandhasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtham Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Soham Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yutapadakamalam Shri Guru Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitamscha Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Presthaya Bhutale Shri Mate Bhakti Vedanta Swamin iti namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine. Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namne Gaura Tvise Namaha. Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shrivas Adi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. Shri Chaitanya Bhagavat by Srila Vrindavan Das Thakur Mahashaya, Adi Khanda, chapter 16, text 41. This chapter is entitled The Glories of Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur. We are reading how in Fulyagram, Srila Haridas Thakur Mahashaya would day and night immerse himself in Nam Sudha Rasa Gao Krishna Yasha. Nama Sudha Rasa. He was drowning in the nectarian ocean of Krishna Nam. Krishna Nam is Amritera Saman. It's like Amrit, Nama Amrit. And the local political leaders, administrative leaders, because they belong to a different religion, they did not appreciate the activities of Srila Haridas Thakur. Because although Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur was born in the family of the community that was ruling at that time, but he had taken to the Vaishnava way of life. And day and night he would chant Hare Krishna Mahamantra. He was arrested. Srila Haridas Thakur was arrested simply for being a lover of Krishna and Krishna Nam. They are non-different. Abhinnatvan Nama Namini. There is no difference between Krishna and Krishna Nam. One who loves Krishna Nam. One who loves Krishna Nam loves Krishna. Srila Haridas Thakur was a Krishna Premi Bhakta, a pure devotee who loved Krishna, and simply for that one reason he was arrested. This is the nature of this material world, my dear friends. Just for giving our heart to Krishna, externally troubles and difficulties will come upon us. Because it is Krishna consciousness, Srila Prabhupada explains in his famous San Francisco Rath Yatra lecture, where Srila Prabhupada talks about the meaning of the Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Srila Prabhupada explains this Hare Krishna Mahamantra is a prayer to Sri Radha and Sri Krishna. Hare is an address to Sri Radha, whose name is Hara Devi. When you call Hara Devi, it becomes in the vocative Hare. Krishna and Ram are the names of the Supreme Lord. Gopinath. He's called Krishna because he's all attractive. He's called Ram because he's Radhika Raman. He gives pleasure to Srimati Radharani and all the devotees. Brajajana Mana Sukhakari. He gives pleasure to all the Brajvasis, all the devotees. That is Krishna. So Hare Krishna Mahamantra is an address to Radha and Krishna that my beloved Shri Radha and Shri Krishna, please engage me in your eternal, loving, devotional service. Srila Prabhupada says that this Hare Krishna Mahamantra, this Krishna consciousness, Krishna Bhakti is not an artificial imposition on the soul. It is not. It is the natural predisposition of the soul. It is our natural tendency to love Krishna. Nitya Siddha Krishna Prem Sadhya Kabo Noy. Krishna Prem is not something foreign to the Swarup of the Jiva. Because Jivera Swarup hai Krishna Nitya Das. Constitutionally, by our Ghatana, by our nature, very nature, we are ecstatic lovers of Radha and Krishna. So Krishna Bhakti, devotion to Krishna or Krishna consciousness is not an artificial imposition on the soul. It is natural. Srila Prabhupada explains. So even though chanting Hare Krishna is natural and Srila Haridas Thakur was situated in his natural constitutional position, he was situated in his natural swarup when he was chanting Hare Krishna and offering all the love of his heart to Krishna. The locals, the local people who were in power, they took it as an offense. Just see, something that is natural is taken as an offense in this material world. Because urdhva moolam adha shakha. This material world is a perverted reflection of the spiritual world. Parakya bhav is the highest form of love. Parakya bhav is the best expression of selfless love in the spiritual realm, but in the material realm, it is abominable. In the material realm, stealing from other people's homes is considered very sinful and it is illegal. Whereas in Golok Vrindavan, Krishna is eternally loved and celebrated as Makhan Chor, butter thief. Why? Because it gives greatest pleasure to Krishna's devotees. That Krishna loves them so much, he comes and steals their butter that they have churned just for him, just for his sake. Krishna reciprocates by coming and stealing it. So there is a huge difference between spiritual life and material life. In fact, spiritual life is just the opposite of material life. Ya nisha sarva bhutani tasyam jagrati samyami. Yasyam jagrati bhutani sa nisha paschato mune. In Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says what is day for the devotee is night for the materialist. And what is day for the materialist is night for the spiritualist. These local rulers, they considered Haridas Thakur to be the lowest of the society. Whereas Haridas Thakur, in fact, was the Chudamani. He was the best, he was the crest jewel of all of the society. He was the best person in the whole society. He was bringing auspiciousness to the whole society. But Srila Haridas Thakur was perceived by the local rulers as the lowest among mankind. Whereas having the vision of Krishna, having Bhagavat Bhav, having the vision of the Shastras, Shastra Chakshu, a devotee sees non-devotees as the lowest. Namam duskratino mudha prapadyante nara adhama. According to a devotee who lives life based on the Shastra, Nara Adhama, the lowest among mankind, is that person who does not surrender to Krishna. Na Krishna prapadyante. But here Haridas Thakur is considered to be the lowest. They arrested him. And let us see what happens. Text 41. Haridasa Thakurera Shuniya Gamana Harishe Vishada Haila Jata Susajjana. Hearing about Sri Haridas Thakur's departure to see the governor. So what happened? The Qazi, which is the equivalent of the local cop, police, arrested Sri Haridas Thakur on the order of the local ruler, the local king, the governor. And Haridas Thakur was taken to meet with the governor. Hearing about Sri Haridas Thakur's departure, Gamana, to see the governor, pious persons, Su Sajjana, the pious persons, they felt morose, Vishad. They felt very sad in the midst of their Harishe, in the midst of their happiness. Hearing that Haridas Thakur had been arrested and now he was being taken to face the governor and the Qazi, the Susajjan, the pious people, they felt great distress, they felt great sorrow right in the middle of their happiness. Harishe means happiness, Vishada means sorrow, Haila. They experienced sorrow in the midst of their happiness, hearing about Haridas Thakur's arrest and the fact that he was going to be presented before the governor so that justice could be administered by the meat eaters. Hare Krishna. This is a very important lesson for us to learn, that we may be enjoying bhakti rasa, we may be experiencing bhajanananda, the bliss of Krishna bhajan, and right in the middle a calamity can come. Devotees in Ukraine were wonderfully engaging in Harinam Sankirtan. They were wonderfully engaging in all the activities of pure Krishna consciousness, and suddenly there is a war and they are displaced and they are attacked and they are killed and they are bombed and their food supplies taken away, their temples are destroyed. This, my dear friends, is the material world we live in. This is the material world where we make plans to live forever. This is the world we live in where we sometimes think, I will be living happily ever after. If we analyze the history, it is not just Ukraine and Russia. It is not just India and Pakistan. It is not just India and China. It is a recurrent theme in this material world. There will be no peace because majority of the population is sense gratification conscious. Most of the population is not Krishna conscious. That is the disease of this world. And because there is a disease, there will be symptoms. Symptoms indicate the presence of disease. If someone has COVID-19 infection, the symptom will be anosmia. They will lose their sense of smell. They will get cough. They will get fever. They will feel short of breath. Is it not? All these symptoms, cough, fever, they are symptoms that there is a disease in the body. And that disease could be pneumonia. That disease could be anything. So symptoms indicate the presence of a disease. The disease in this material world is lack of Krishna consciousness. And the symptoms are war, terrorism, mass shootings, corruption, greediness, theft, burglary, rape, murder. These are all symptoms of the disease called Kali Yuga, forgetfulness of Krishna. Right when they were feeling happiness, why were Sajjana, why were the pious people feeling happiness? Because Srila Haridas Thakur was in their midst, chanting Harinam, Shuddhanam, chanting the pure name of Krishna. Just by seeing a Mahabhagavat, they were happy. And this is a fact. Just being in the presence of a pure devotee, we feel encouraged, we feel protected, and we feel happy. If by meeting a devotee, we walk out depressed, we walk out discouraged in bhakti, we walk away hopeless, that means it was not a devotee interaction. When we are in the association of advanced devotees, every interaction, every meeting will leave us smiling. It will leave us inspired. It will leave us encouraged. It will give us a sense of determination that yes, I want to give my heart to Radha and Krishna. Radha Krishna Prana Mora Yugala Kishore Jivane Marane Gati Ara Nahi Mo. In life and in death, in happiness and in pleasure, in the good experiences of life and in the negative experiences of life, Radha and Krishna are the only goal of my life. Divyat Vrindaranya Kalpadrumada Shrimad Ratnagar Simha Sanasthav Shrimad Radha Srila Govinda Devav Preshthalibi Sevyamano Smarami. I always smarami, I always remember, I always meditate upon Shri Radha and Shri Govinda, who are under a Kalpavriksha tree in Golok Vrindavan, in a beautiful divine forest. Divyad Vrindaranya. Vrindaranya means Vrindavan, the forest of Vrindadevi. Divya. Vrindavana Ramya Sthana Divya Chintamani Dhama. Vrindavan is the Divya Dham. And under a Kalpavriksha tree, in a forest of Kalpavriksha trees, Shri Radha and Shri Govinda are Virajman. They are seated. Divyad Vrindaranya Kalpadhruma Adha, under Kalpavriksha tree. Divyad Vrindaranya Kalpadhruma Adha, Shrimad Ratnagar Simhasanasthav. On a Simhasthan, on a beautiful throne made of gold and jewels, Radha Krishna are sitting, and Preshthalibi Sevyamano Smarami. They are being served by Preshthalibi, by the loving gopis and manjaris, by Radha Priya Sakhis. Radha and Govinda are being served by the Ashta Sakhis, Ashta Manjaris. This is what I remember always. In the beautiful forest of Vrindavan, under a Kalpavriksha tree, on a divine throne, my Radha and my Govinda are seated, and they are being lovingly served by their pure devotees. Always. Nothing can change this. No amounts of tsunamis, no amounts of world wars, no amounts of nuclear bombs, no amount of corruption, no amounts of hurricanes and floods and global warming can change this even one bit. This is the eternal truth. A devotee is always situated in this. A devotee has his or her eyes and heart on the spiritual world. The body is in the material world, but the meditation, the heart, the longing, all the spiritual activities are happening on a spiritual plane. Srila Haridas Thakur was arrested. Even though he was giving so much pleasure to the Susajjan, to the good people, to the pious people. When we meet a pure devotee, because a pure devotee is always in touch with Radha and Krishna, with their Ananda Leela Maya Vigrahaya, the pure devotee always transmits a sense of happiness, a sense of hope. Whereas when we associate with materialists, we walk away thinking, I wasted my time. Or we walk away with material desires. We walk away with more attachment to the material world. Or we walk away feeling dejected. But not so. when we associate with pure devotees. Pure devotees are always blissful and they make others blissful. Hearing about Haridas Thakur's departure to see the governor, pious persons felt morose right in the midst of their happiness. Haridas Thakur's association was giving them happiness, and Haridas Thakur's arrest made them morose. Purport by Nityalila Pravishta Shri Srimad Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Maharaj Prabhupada, the beloved, revered spiritual master of our founder Acharya, our beloved Samsthapak Acharya, Nityalila Pravishta Shri Srimad Abhay Charanarvinda Bhakti Vedanta Swami Maharaj Prabhupada, Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Maharaj Prabhupada ki Jai. Purport. Upon hearing that the Muslim governor had arrested Thakur Haridas to torture him, the local residents became extremely distressed. They were already happy by hearing about Haridas Thakur's loud chanting of the holy names and his pure ecstatic transformations. But now, hearing about and fearing the inevitable oppression of Haridas Thakur, they became depressed in the midst of their happiness resulting from seeing him. By seeing Haridas Thakur, seeing his chanting, seeing his dancing, seeing Haridas Thakur's ecstatic symptoms, they were happy. Seeing Haridas Thakur arrested, they became sad. This is the sign of a sajjan, a good person, pious person. Text 42. Bada bada loka jata ache bandi ghare tara sab rishta haila shuniya antare. Bada bada loka jata ache bandi ghare. Bandi ghar means jail. Bada bada loka. Big people of the Hindu society were imprisoned. They were incarcerated for various reasons. For practicing Sanatan Dharma, for not cooperating with the Muslim government. For various reasons, they were arrested. Bada bada loka, and they were bandi ghare. They were in the jail. Tarasava rishta haila shuniya antare. When the respectable persons, bada bada loka, in the prison, bandi ghare, heard that Shri Haridas Thakur had come to see the governor, they became pleased at heart. Rishta haila. Rishta means harsh. They felt joy that Haridas Thakur has come to the jail. We will get his darshan. Some people bring happiness whenever they go, and some people bring happiness wherever they go. Pure devotees like Srila Haridas Thakur bring happiness wherever they go. And wicked people like Ramchandra Khan bring happiness whenever they go. So we should try to follow in the footsteps of Srila Haridas Thakur. We should try to bring joy, hope, encouragement in the lives of devotees. Haridas Thakur was like that, Mahabhagavat. Purport. Being arrested, Thakur Haridas was put in prison like an ordinary criminal. Already many prestigious persons had been imprisoned there. Some good people, bada log, prestigious people. Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada ji in the translation writes respectable persons. Many respectable persons, persons who were worth respecting, they had been arrested and thrown in the prison. These persons became extremely joyful on receiving the association of this transcendental sadhu. Aha. Getting the association of a sadhu is the greatest blessing in life. So these people who were otherwise suffering in jail, when they saw that, oh, now in the jail we are going to get the association of Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur, they became extremely pleased. Parama Vaishnava Hari Dasa Mahashay Tane Dekhi Bandi Dukha Hai Bekakshaya. Shri Haridas Thakur is a great Vaishnava. Parama Vaishnava Haridas Mahashay. Srila Haridas Thakur is a Param Vaishnava. by seeing him, our distress at being imprisoned will be vanquished. Tane dekhi, by seeing him, bandi dukkha, our grief, our sorrow of being imprisoned, hai beka kshay, it will be destroyed. Our sorrow will go away upon receiving the association and upon beholding the transcendental form of this great sadhu, Shri Haridas Thakur Mahashay. Purport: the prisoners began to consider that by seeing such a Mahabhagavat Mahatma as Shri Haridas Thakur, their miseries would be diminished. Yes. Coming close to a pure Vaishnava brings joy to the heart, brings auspiciousness in our lives. As Srila Gaur Govinda Maharaj writes, when good fortune arises. Says, my good fortune arose in Vrindavan at Raman Reti when the construction of Shri Shri Krishna Balram Mandir was going on, and I had the good fortune that afternoon of meeting His Divine Grace, Shri Shri Madhabhai Charana Arvinda Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj Srila Prabhupada. Meeting with a sadhu brings great auspiciousness, my dear friends. Otherwise, there is nothing auspicious in this world. Everything is inauspicious. Everything is inauspicious. Actually, there is no need to ask anybody, Sab kushal mangal hai? Is everything auspicious going on in your life? There is no need to ask this question. Why? Because if you are asking this question to a devotee who is well situated, the answer is yes, there is no need to ask. Someone who is chanting Hare Krishna, someone who is worshipping Krishna, someone who is in the association of devotees, someone who is hearing Srimad Bhagavatam, Caitanya Charitamrita, Bhagavad Gita, someone who is doing Shastra Swadhyay, Bhakti Shastra Swadhyay, someone who is eating Krishna Prasad, someone who is participating in Harinam Sankirtan, Prem Nam Sankirtan, everything is auspicious for that devotee. So there is no need to ask. And if someone is not engaged in the activities of Krishna consciousness, then what is the use of asking? What is the need of asking? We already know everything is inauspicious. Everything is inauspicious. Mangalam mangalebhyopi pavanebhyopi pavanam. Madhuram madhurebhyopi mangalebhyopi mangalam. Pavanam pavanebhyopi harer namayeva kevalam. If we have Harinam, everything is auspicious. Because it is Mangalam Mangalebhyopi. It is the most auspicious of all auspicious things. Pavanam Pavanebhyopi. It is the most purifying of all purifying substances. Harir Namayeva Kevalam. If you have Harinam, everything is auspicious. If you don't have Nambal, if we don't have Harinam in our life, if we don't have Harinam in our throat, in our mouth, Mukhe bolo Hari Hari. If we don't have Harinam in our mouth, then everything is inauspicious. So these bada loka, respectable people in the jail, they had faith that just by seeing Haridas Thakur, all the inauspiciousness of our life will go away. Our distress will be vanquished. Srila Prabhupada brought auspiciousness in the lives of so many people. What was auspicious on the streets of Lower East Side Manhattan, in the Bowery, in the 1960s, 1965, 1966? What was auspicious at Haight-Ashbury Street in Washington, in San Francisco, California, in 1967? What was auspicious? It was only LSD, weed, crack cocaine, illicit sex, meat eating, no culture, no dharma, no purity, just vikarma, vikarma, vikarma. What was auspicious? The advent of a transcendental sadhu, like Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur writes. His own disciple went there. Srila Bhai Charana Arvinda Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. That is what brought auspiciousness in the lives of those people. The hippies became happies. Meeting a sadhu always brings auspiciousness, my dear friends. What was the good fortune of Nala, Kuber and Manigriv? They were enjoying the company of women near Kailash in the Mandakini Ganga. They were not wearing clothes. Their female friends were not wearing clothes. They were all intoxicated. They were enjoying their senses, sense gratification, Indriya Tripti. They were in complete forgetfulness of Krishna. They were in a very dangerous situation. The 10th canto of Granthara Srimad Bhagavatam describes how somehow Shripad Narad Muni reached there. The girls were not so intoxicated. They immediately covered their bodies because they were afraid of being cursed by a sadhu. But Nalakuber and Manigriv, being the sons of one of the richest, wealthiest demigods, Kuberji, they were so puffed up, they were so proud and arrogant because of their wealth, their bodily beauty, their power, position, aristocracy, their influence, their fame, that they did not care about the presence of a sadhu, Shripad Narad Muni. They did not care. They did not bother to cover their naked bodies in the presence of a sadhu. My Guru Maharaj, Srila Radhanath Swami Maharaj says, Shripad Narad Muni couldn't care less whether Nalakuber and Manigriv were naked or they were covered with cloth. He couldn't care less. Shripad Narad Muni is Narada Muni Bajaya Veena Radhika Ramana Name. Radhika Ramana Name. He's chanting the names of Radha Raman, Radha Raman, Radha Raman, Radha Raman, Radha Raman. Ram, Ram, Ram means Radha Raman. In our Hare Krishna Mahamantra, Hare Ram is Radha Raman. Shankar Bhagwan is always chanting Ram, Ram, Ram. Rama Rameti Rameti Rame Rame Manorame. Always chanting Ram, 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 Ram. What is that Ram? It is Radha Raman. Because Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur Mahashaya says, Narada Muni Bajaya Veena Radhika Raman Name. Radhika Raman is Ram. Ram is Radha Raman. Hare Ram is Radha Raman. So, Devarshi Naradji is always chanting Yugal Nam. He's always chanting the names of Radha and Krishna. What does he care whether someone is wearing clothes or not? He is in a samadhi. He is absorbed. He is intoxicated. Radha Krishna Maharnisham Prabhajato Jivharthayo Muda Vande Rupa Sanatano Raghuyugo Shri Jiva Gopalako Radha Kunda Tate Kalinda Tanaya Tire Chavam Shivate Premonmadavashadasheshadashaya Grastau Pramattau Sada Gayantau Chakada Harer Gunavaram Bhava Vibhutau Muda Vande Rupa Sanatano Raghuyugo Shri Jiva Gopalako He Radhe Vraj Devi Ke Chalalite He Nanda Suno Kuta Shri Govardhana Kalpa Pada Patale Kalindi Vane Kuta Ghoshantaviti Sarvato Vrajapure Kedair Mahavivalau Vande Rupa Sanatano Raghuyugau Shri Jiva Gopalakau. This is the state of Samadhi of the Goswamis of Vrindavan. Is Shripad Narad Muni with these Goswamis? Jaya Rupa Sanatana Bhatta Raghunath Shri Jiva Gopala Bhatta Dasa Raghunath. Is Shripad Narad Muni with them? Yes or no? Please raise your hand. If yes, who is he? What is his name? Who can tell? Who can tell? Who is Shripad Narad Muni with the Goswamis of Vrindavan? Yes, Kirtida Sundari Mataji. Sorry. Please unmute.
Yes. Narad Muni is Shiva's Thakur, right?
Yes. As a Gaur Parshad, Shripad Narad Muni Shrivas Thakur. Shripad Narad Muni also appeared as a Goswami of Vrindavan. And who is he?
Sorry, Prabhu, I don't know.
Nobody has heard of Srila Narayan Bhatta Goswami? Who found Ladli Ji, the deity of Srimati Radharani in Barsana? It is Srila Narayan Bhatta Goswami, who has given us all the information about Vraj Mandal Parikrama. It is Srila Narayan Bhatta Goswami. Srila Narayan Bhatta Goswami is an incarnation of Shripad Narad Muni, a follower of 6 Goswamis of Vrindavan. So Shripad Narad Muni couldn't care less whether Nalakuver and Manigriva are dressed or not. What does he care? Is he going to take offense? No. But he took offense. Shripad Narad Muni took offense. Why? My Guru Maharaj, Srila Radhanath Swami Maharaj says, because the pure devotees take pleasure in being, they are pleased. The pure devotees are pleased to be displeased. Hare Krishna. Process this. Hare Krishna. The pure devotees are pleased to be displeased. This morning only I was listening to this lecture by Srila Radhanath Swami Maharaj. The pure devotees are pleased to be displeased. Why? Because in them getting displeased, the object of their displeasure will be supremely blessed. Shripad Narad Muni took no offense actually, but he pretended to take offense. He acted as if he took offense and he was angry so that he could curse them. And through that curse, they will get Krishna. Hare Krishna. So meeting with a pure devotee, whether a pure devotee is pleased with us or whether a pure devotee is displeased with us, brings auspiciousness. How much more auspiciousness will come if we please them? How much more auspiciousness will come if we please them? That is how we should think. Text 44. My Guru Maharaj once said, very funny, my Guru Maharaj once said that a pure devotee does not take any offense. In fact, Srila Radhanath Swami Maharaj quoted from Shri Vrindavan Mahimamrit of Srila Prabodhananda Saraswati Thakur and said that Sammanam kalayati ghora garalam nija apamanam sudha radha murli dhara bhaja sakhe Vrindavana mateja. Very famous verse, we all say it many times. Sammanam kalayati ghora garalam. That sammanam, respect, is like a poison for a pure devotee. And nija apamanam sudha. When they are criticized, they take it as sudha, as nectar. Some readings of this verse are nicha apamanam sudha. That even if a niche person, a fallen person comes and starts criticizing a great Vaishnava, the great Vaishnava will take that criticism as nectar. Nija apamanam sudha, nicha apamanam sudha. Their apaman, their criticism, they take as nectar. So someone asked Guru Maharaj, Srila Radhanath Swami Maharaj, that so why don't we criticize the pure devotees? Because they take their criticism as nectar. They get pleased when they are criticized. So why not criticize the pure devotee and please them in that way? So Maharaj said, no. There's a big problem with that. When we criticize a pure devotee, that devotee may be pleased, genuinely pleased, hearing that criticism. When Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was being criticized by Amog, what did Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu say? Yes, yes, Amog. Very good, very good. You are only describing few of my bad qualities. Actually, I have got so many bad qualities. Please tell me more. Please correct me more. When Ramchandra Puri would come and criticize Mahaprabhu, Mahaprabhu would say, yes, yes, what he's saying is right. I'm eating too much. I need to cut down my eating. Nicha apamanam sudha. Nija apamanam sudha. They take their own criticism as sudha, nectar. Yes, a pure devotee will be genuinely pleased when criticized, because nija apamanam sudha. But other devotees will be very displeased when a Vaishnava is criticized, when there is Vaishnava ninda, satam ninda. And Krishna will be supremely displeased if we do that. So we should not do that. We should think, if Nalakuver and Manigriv by displeasing Shripad Narad Muni got mercy, if Amog by displeasing Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya and by criticizing Mahaprabhu got mercy and became a pure devotee, how much more mercy we stand to receive if we genuinely try to please. Vaishnavera gunagrahi na dekhaye dosh kaya mana vakya kare Vaishnava santosh. If we do Vaishnava santosh, we try to please the devotees, how much more benedictions, how much more kripa, how much more blessings, mercy will come our way. That's how we should think. Text 44. Rakshaka lokere sabe sadhana kariya rahile na bandigana ekadrishti haya. The prisoners tactfully persuaded the guards to let them see Shri Haridas Thakur without any disturbance. Hare Krishna. Little bit they kind of cajoled them, twisted the arm a little bit, just requested them, please, please, please. When Shri Haridas Thakur comes in the jail, please allow us to have darshan of Thakur Mahashay. This kind of manipulation is required. Sometimes we have to try our best to get the mercy. The prisoners tactfully persuaded the guards of the prison to let them see Haridas Thakur without disturbance. Please, we just want to have darshan of Haridas Thakur. Please arrange. Text 45. Haridasa Thakur aila se sthane bandi sabe dekhi kripa drishti haila mane. When Shri Haridas Thakur came there and saw the prisoners, he glanced mercifully upon them. Kripa drishti. The drishti of a pure devotee, the vision of a Mahabhagavat, is always kripamay. Vancha kalpatarubhyascha. Kripa sindhu. Kripa sindhu evacha. Patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namah. Vaishnava is kripa sindhu. They are ocean of mercy. So anything a Vaishnava does is kripamay. Because they are kripamay. They are very merciful. So the drishti of Srila Haridas Thakur is kripa drishti. It is merciful glance. Haridasa Thakur re charana dekhiya rahile na bandigana pranati kariya. Seeing the lotus feet of Srila Haridas Thakur, bandigana, all the prisoners, offered obeisances to him. Pranati kariya. Pranati kariya. Very important. When we are in front of a sadhu, pranati kariya, we must offer obeisances. Offer obeisances. Take a humble position. Get the blessings. They humbled themselves. Even though Haridas Thakur was a fellow prisoner, they are also prisoners. Srila Haridas Thakur also is a prisoner. But no. They understood that we are not on the same level. Similarly, my dear friends, we may be going to the same temple, we might be performing same services, we might be sitting in the same class, we might be dancing shoulder to shoulder in Nam Sankirtan, but that doesn't mean we become too familiar with the devotees. That doesn't mean we start considering ourselves equal to them. We have to maintain Adar Buddhi. We must maintain respect, and with certain devotees, awe and reverence also. One very beautiful thing that I love about His Holiness Romapad Swami Maharaj one of our Gurujan or respectable spiritual masters, Srila Rompat Swami Maharaj. I love this so much. Srila Rompat Swami Maharaj once had the opportunity to become Srila Prabhupada's personal servant. And Srila Rompat Swami Maharaj, knowing that there were other qualified devotees to do the service, devotees like Srila Bhakti Charu Swami Maharaj, Srila Tamal Krishna Goswami Maharaj and others, respectfully Srila Rompat Swami Maharaj declined. When he was asked why, Srila Rompat Swami Maharaj shared a very beautiful reason that shows the greatness of his heart. And it shows how different devotees can have different bhav. And each bhav is very beautiful in its own way. During the final year, the Antya Leela of Jagadguru Srila Prabhupada in 1977 and the latter part of 1976, when Srila Prabhupada's health really deteriorated, Srila Tamal Krishna Goswami Maharaj left all his services and dedicated himself exclusively to Vapu Seva, to serving the transcendental body of Srila Prabhupada, being with him, administering him medicines, cooking for him, serving him. He was the personal servant, he was the personal secretary, he was everything. And Srila Bhakti Charu Swami Maharaj also joined. Actually, many of you may not know, but Srila Bhakti Charu Swami Maharaj was a born devotee. And he was elder in age to Srila Tamal Krishna Goswami Maharaj. Srila Bhakti Charu Swami Maharaj was elder to Srila Tamal Krishna Goswami Maharaj. And he was so well versed in the Gaudiya culture. The first book that he read, Srila Bhakti Charu Swami Maharaj read, was The Nectar of Devotion, which I have not read till date. Only the first 18 chapters that are part of Bhakti Shastri. That was the first book. So you can imagine what was the level. Srila Rupa Goswami's Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu was the first book that Srila Bhakti Charu Swami Maharaj read. Hare Krishna. So very high class, very highly cultured, and already Srila Bhakti Charu Swami Maharaj had the Gaudiya Siddhanta in his heart. And yet he comes and willingly becomes the assistant of Srila Tamal Krishna Goswami Maharaj, who was younger to him in age. This is the humility of a Vaishnava. So many of Srila Prabhupada's god brothers came. They were Bengali. They would converse with Srila Prabhupada in Bengali. And Srila Bhakti Charu Maharaj was there. He could understand everything. And Tamal Krishna Goswami Maharaj did not understand what they were talking in Bengali. And sometimes Srila Bhakti Charu Swami Maharaj would later on explain to Srila Tamal Krishna Goswami what was spoken. But he always considered himself as the assistant of Srila Tamal Krishna Goswami Maharaj. So they left everything and they served Srila Prabhupada, Vapu Seva, during the Antya Leela of Srila Prabhupada. That is one bhav, that I just want to be with Srila Prabhupada and serve him very intimately. And Srila Rompat Swami Maharaj's bhav was why he declined to become Srila Prabhupada's personal servant whenever he was given that opportunity previously. He had declined, saying that I have seen, without any names, taking any names, sometimes people, they come very close to Srila Prabhupada and they get a chance to serve Srila Prabhupada very closely. And they become over familiar. Ati parichayat avagya. They become very close, they become over familiar. And then they see Srila Prabhupada taking a nap. They see Srila Prabhupada feeling hungry and asking for prasad. So they see all these things in the spiritual master, which are also seen in a Baddha Jeev. A Baddha Jeev also sleeps. A Baddha Jeev also feels hungry and asks for food. And they would see the same characteristics in the pure devotee, Srila Prabhupada. And sometimes the thought would come, well, maybe Srila Prabhupada is also one of us. He's one of us. And that leads to Guru Aparadha. To have Manushya Buddhi in Guru, to consider Shri Guru as a Manushya, as a Nara, is Naraki Buddhi. It is a mentality of a hellish person. To consider Charanamrit to be water, to consider the Shri Vigraha of Krishna in the temple to be made of dhatu, some material substance, and to consider Shri Guru to be an ordinary person. It is Naraki Buddhi. So Srila Rompa Swami Maharaj said, I don't want to become over familiar with Srila Prabhupada. In my heart, I always want to worship Srila Prabhupada as the Jagat Guru who sits on the Vyasasana and speaks Srimad Bhagavatam, Chaitanya Charitamrita, and instructs us, answers our questions, leads Kirtan. That is the image I want to have in my heart. I don't want to take the risk of becoming over familiar with Srila Prabhupada. So see, both the bhavs are very sweet. Srila Rompa Swami Maharaj's bhav is also very sweet, and Srila Tamal Krishna Goswami Maharaj, Srila Bhakti Charu Maharaj's bhav is also very sweet. So in this way, different devotees have different flavors, and it takes all of us to make the spiritual world. So here we see how the fellow inmates in the jail, they had Adar Buddhi, they had awe and reverence, respect for Srila Haridas Thakur. They did not consider Haridas Thakur to be just one of them, even though Srila Haridas Thakur also was imprisoned just like them. This is a very important principle. We should not become over familiar with devotees. We should understand devotees are more advanced than me. Every devotee I meet, I am a servant. What is my duty toward this devotee? How may I serve this devotee? We are always the servant, 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 das, 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 anudas. Always. No matter how many years we spend in Krishna consciousness, even a brand new devotee is our Prabhu. And we are the das. Amita Vaishnava ei buddhi haya amani na hoilo ami. Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur Mahashaya says, when I have the buddhi that I am a Vaishnava, then I cannot be amanina. And without amanina, I cannot get Krishna. I will go to hell. So these prisoners, they offered obeisances to Srila Haridas Thakur. Haridasa Thakur era charana dekhiya. They were not taking their vision above the lotus feet of Haridas Thakur. They were looking at his lotus feet. Charane dekhiya. Rahile na bandigana paranati kariya. They offered their obeisances at the lotus feet of Srila Haridas Thakur. Ajanulambita bhuja kamala nayana sarva manohara mukha chandra anupama. Now slowly the prisoners are casting their glance upward from the lotus feet of Srila Haridas Thakur. Now they're going up, looking at his beautiful transcendental form. Ajanu Lambita Bhuja. Srila Haridas Thakur had all the features of a Mahabhagavat. Why not? He's a combined incarnation of Prahlad Maharaj and Lord Brahma. Ajanu Lambita Bhuja. His hands reached down to his knees. Kamala Nayana. He had lotus eyes. Sarva Manohara Mukha. His face was all enchanting. Chandra Anupama. And it was beyond compare. It was even more beautiful than the moon, the face of Srila Haridas Thakur. So we should not imagine the form of Srila Haridas Thakur as just some skinny fellow, a rough skin, sunken eyes, dehydrated look, who's just chanting Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare 192 rounds 24. No. Srila Haridas Thakur Mahashaya had a very transcendental form. He's an eternally perfected Nitya Siddha Bhakta who appeared from Golok Vrindavan. He's a Nitya Parshad of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He's there in Shvetadvip Navadvip in Golok Vrindavan. Thakur Mahashaya had long arms extended down to his knees. He had lotus eyes and his face, moon-like face, was most beautiful to look at. Sarva Manohar, stealing the heart. Anupam, there is no upama, incomparable beauty of Srila Haridas Thakur. Incomparable beauty. He was very handsome, very good looking, Srila Haridas Thakur. Not that looks matter. Not that we judge a devotee by the looks. If somebody is handsome, he's advanced devotee. Somebody is not appealing to look at, oh, that person is not so advanced. Not like that. Not like that. This is a divine beauty of Srila Haridas Thakur that was manifest to those who had the eyes to see. Premanjana churita bhakti vilochanena santas sadaiva hridayeshu vilokayanti yam shama sundaram achintya guna swarupam govindamadi purusham tamaham bhajami. Because pure devotees also become godly. They get all the godly divine qualities. So they also have their own divine beauty. It is manifest to those who have the vision to see. So if we are not able to appreciate the beauty of a Vaishnava, it is because of our own shortcoming, because we don't have those eyes. We don't have Premanjana Churita Bhakti Vilochana. We don't have to appreciate the Nayana Lochan of Srila Haridas Thakur and other devotees. Bhakti kari sabe kari lena namaskar sabara haila Krishna bhakti ravikar. As everyone devotedly offered obeisances to Srila Haridas Thakur, ecstatic devotional symptoms manifested in their bodies. Yes. Satarati, satarati, sa lokan tarayati. Srila Narad Muni explains in Narad Bhakti Sutra that a devotee gets delivered, and a devotee gets other people also delivered. Satarati, satarati, sa lokan tarayati. And he delivers others also. Just by seeing Uttam Adhikari's symptom, as mentioned in Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, is just by seeing a pure devotee, others start chanting. Just by seeing Srila Prabhupada, the whole world started chanting Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Bhakti kari sabe kari lena namaskar sabara haila Krishna bhakti ravikar. As everyone devotedly offered obeisances to Srila Haridas Thakur, ecstatic devotional symptoms manifested in their bodies. Just by offering obeisances to Srila Haridas Thakur, just by offering their respects to Srila Haridas Thakur, just by having darshan of Srila Haridas Thakur, darshane pavitra karo ehi tomar gun. All the devotees, all the prisoners not only felt happy, but they did not just get devotion for Krishna, but they got ecstatic love for Krishna. Symptoms of love started manifesting in their body. Sabara haila Krishna bhakti ravikar, ashtadhatmik vikar, because of Krishna bhakti manifested in their body. This is the power of a devotee. So, Matajis, it is 12 o'clock. So, what should I do? Can I stop here? I could not cover till 63.
Prabhu, you can continue. Sorry if everyone agrees.
Okay, no, I want to ask Kirta Sundari Mataji or Priti Vilasini Mataji, the organizers.
Yeah, we are okay, Prabhu. Again, it's up to your time.
Okay.
I don't know how busy you are.
No, I'm not working today, so I'll continue. I'll cover it. Okay. So,
Sure.
text 9. Dasa bara bhakti dekhe Prabhu Haridas, bandi sab dekhi tana, kaila kripahas, haila kripahas. When Srila Haridas Thakur saw the prisoner's devotion, a pure devotee always reciprocates with the sadhak. When Haridas Thakur saw the devotion of the prisoners, he mercifully smiled at them. Kripahas. See, what was the drishti of Haridas Thakur? Kripa drishti. What is the smile of Haridas Thakur? Kripahas. Everything is kripa, kripa, kripa. A devotee, a pure devotee chastises us, there is kripa. A pure devotee curses us, there is kripa. But being away from a pure devotee, that is the greatest loss. Srila Ramananda Rai responds to Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's question in Rai Ramananda Samvad, what is the greatest pain in this world? It is separation from the association of pure devotees. But for a pure devotee, everything they do to us is mercy. When Haridas Thakur saw the prisoner's devotion, he mercifully smiled at them. Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada writes in the Prabhupada, seeing the prisoners, Haridas Thakur compassionately displayed his smiling face to them. Mercy, kripahas, merciful smile. Now he's going to give a blessing. Thaka thaka ekhana achahajena rupe gupta ashirvada kari hase na kautuke. With a curious smile, Shri Haridas Thakur gave them an ambiguous blessing. Ambiguous blessing. They couldn't really understand the meaning. What is this? The meaning is not clear. It's ambiguous. Unclear meaning. He gave a blessing. Thaka thaka ekhana achaha jena rupe. That was a blessing. Stay here, stay here. Thaka thaka. Acha jena rupe. Stay here the way you are now. Jaise ho waise raho. This is the Ashirwad he gave. Na bhujiya tahana se durneya vachan. Bandi sab haila kichu vishaditaman. Unable to understand. The equivocal means ambiguous. Don't know the meaning. The meaning is not clear. It's not black and white. It's not very clear. Unable to understand the equivocal words of Srila Haridas Thakur, the prisoners felt morose, vishaditaman. They experienced vishad, moroseness, sorrow. What kind of a blessing he gave us? We have been incarcerated and he's saying, stay like this only. What kind of blessing is that? Na bhujiya. They could not understand. Tabe pache kripa yukta hai Haridas gupta ashirvada kahe kariya prakash. Tabe pache, shortly thereafter, however, kripa yukta hai Haridas. Haridas Thakur, very mercifully, he Gupta Ashirvada, the mysterious blessing that he had given, Kahe Kariya Prakash. Kariya Prakash. He elaborated, explained the meaning of his ambiguous blessing that he gave. Srila Haridas Thakur understood that the prisoners had not understood my benediction that I gave them. So let me explain to them. He decided to give a purport to his own blessing. Text 53. Ami toma sabare je kailu ashirvad tara artha na bhujiya bhavaha vishad. You have not understood the meaning. Srila Haridas Thakur is telling the prisoners, you have not understood the meaning of the blessings I gave. Therefore you are feeling sad. Therefore you are lamenting. In the purport, Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada Maharaj writes, upon seeing the all-auspicious smile, Kripahas, upon seeing the all-auspicious smile of Thakur Haridas Mahashaya, the imprisoned criminals became morose, not understanding that the smile was a confidential blessing in disguise. Seeing their moroseness, Thakur Mahashaya said to them, I have blessed you with an auspicious smile. Do consider it, otherwise, and feel sad. So Srila Haridas Thakur did Kripahas. He smiled at them and then said, may you always stay like this. So they were probably thinking that Srila Haridas Thakur was making fun of them, smiling at them when they were suffering. He was being sarcastic. So they could not understand. So Srila Haridas Thakur is saying, because you could not understand, Tara artha na bhujiye bhavaha vishad. Therefore you are lamenting because you don't understand. Similarly, my dear friends, Krishna may do a lot of kripa, a lot of mercy in our life. And if we don't understand Krishna's mercy, that this suffering is actually a mercy upon me, then we will do vishad. We will only feel sad. And we will start questioning why Krishna is doing this to me. I am a good devotee. Why is Krishna making me suffer like this? When we suffer, my dear, please listen carefully. When we suffer, my dear friends, we should think that there is definitely some merciful plan of Krishna to purify me. And when good things happen in our life, we should know that this is simply because of Krishna's Kripa Drishtipat. But both are Kripa Drishti. The sufferings are also some secret plan of Krishna to purify us, to help us advance in Krishna consciousness. And the good experiences we have, they are also meant because of Krishna's merciful glance upon us. So a devotee feels grateful in both happiness and distress. Easy to say this, very difficult to realize it and practice it. But Krishna consciousness means we have to come to that platform of seeing Krishna's mercy, Krishna's blessings in both good times and bad times of life. Manda ashirvada ami kakhano nakari manadiya sabe iha bhujaha vichari. Srila Haridas Thakur continued saying to the prisoners, Manda ashirvada ami kakhano nakari. I never give inauspicious benedictions. Carefully try to understand as I explain my ashirvad. What was the ashirvad? Thaka thaka ekhana achaha jena rupe. Stay always like this. What did it mean? Ebe Krishna prati toma sabakaraman jena ache e mata thaku sarvakshan. As your minds are presently fixed on Krishna, Let your minds always be fixed on Krishna like that forever. As your minds are presently fixed on Krishna, let them stay that way forever. Because see, in this prison, they were suffering. And in their suffering, they were eagerly waiting for devotee association, Srila Haridas Thakur association. They were eagerly thinking, may Krishna bless us, may Krishna deliver us. They were in a prayerful mood. They were in a helpless situation. And in that helpless situation, they were calling out Krishna Nam. Srila Haridas Thakur said, by giving blessing, that may you always have this consciousness of Krishna Sharanagati. There's a purport by Srila Prabhupada. I encourage all of you to read it. In the interest of time, I will skip that purport. Very beautiful purport it is. Text 56. Ebe nitya Krishna nama Krishna rachintan sabe meli karite thakah anukshan. Now you can all constantly chant the names of Krishna and think of Krishna. They are in the jail. They have nothing else to do. There are no other distractions. No business, no job, no family, nothing. So all they can do is helplessly call out Krishna Nam. Ebe nitya Krishna Nam Krishna rachintan. Here you can always chant Krishna Nam. You can always do Krishna Chintan. Always think of Krishna. Krishna, Krishna, Krishna. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Like that. Next, 57. Ebe himsa nahi nahi prajara pidan Krishna bali kakuwade karah chintan. Here you have no envy or trouble from others. So you can humbly chant and think of Krishna. Krishna bali. Kakuwade. Kakuwade. With eagerness, earnestness, desperation, you can call out Krishna. Krishna, Krishna, Krishna. I'm suffering in this jail. Please, Krishna, Krishna, help me. Karaha Chintan. And you can always think of Krishna in the jail. There is nothing else to do. Arabara giya vishayete pravartile sabe iha pasari be gele dushtamile. Otherwise, if you again return to material enjoyment by bad association, you will forget everything about Krishna. Difficult times make us think of Krishna. Difficult times make us take shelter of Krishna. And when we go through good times, happy times, comfortable times, we become complacent and we tend to forget Krishna. That is a problem with the heavenly planets. There is so much enjoyment that it's very difficult to feelingly call out Krishna. That's what Kunti Maharani prays. Janma Aishwara Shuta Shrivi. All these opulences, they distract us. And then feelingly we cannot call out Krishna, Krishna. How Draupadi called out to Krishna. How Kunti Maharani called out to Krishna when Krishna was leaving. How Uttara called out to Krishna when the Brahmastra had killed Parikshit Maharaj. To call out Krishna with feelings, the unfortunate truth of this world is, my dear friends, we need suffering. I repeat, the unfortunate truth of this world is for us to feelingly call out to Krishna in the mood of Draupadi, Kunti or Uttara. We need calamities. We need difficulties. We need reversals. We need problems. Hare Krishna. Without them, our tendency is to become complacent. Without difficulties, it is our tendency to become proud. I have things under control. I'm successful. We become proud. We feel we are the controllers. But when difficulties come and difficulties that we cannot overcome, we feel helpless. We feel humble. And we take shelter of Krishna. That is what Srila Haridas Thakur is saying. That right now you are helpless. Right now you are depending on devotee association. Right now you are eager to get Krishna. Right now you are in a prayerful mood. Thaka thaka means may you always remain like this. Too much comfort, you will return to your old ways of enjoying. Text 59. Vishaya thakite Krishna prema nahi hai. Vishayi radure Krishna jani ha nischay. Very important Siddhanta, my dear friends. Please listen carefully. Srila Haridas Thakur Mahashaya is a Mahajan. This is Mahajan Vakya. He's telling us one cannot achieve love for Krishna as long as one is engaged in sense gratification. As long as we are after the objects of sense gratification. Vishaya. Indriya Vishaya. Vishaya chadiya kabe shuddha habe mana Abhyam Heribo Shri Vrindavan. We cannot enter Vrindavan Dham, we cannot see Shri Vrindavan Dham unless and until we give up the desires for sense gratification. We give up association with sense objects. Vishaya thakite Krishna prema nahi hai. If you are engaging in sense gratification, we cannot get Krishna prema. Vishayra dure Krishna janiha nischay. You should know nischay, you should know for sure, you should know for certain that Vishayra dure Krishna. Krishna stays far away from persons who engage in sense gratification. Krishna stays far away from people who engage in sense gratification, because people who engage in sense gratification, they are in Maya. They are in Maya. And Krishna and Maya are not together. Jaha Krishna, taha nahi Maya Radhikar. Vishay avishtamana badai janjal, striputra Maya jala esaba kal. The mind that is absorbed, janasya mohoyam aham mameti. The mind that is absorbed in material enjoyment is a great disturbance. In Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says that uncontrolled mind is the greatest enemy. The mind that is absorbed in material enjoyment is a great disturbance. Badai janjal. Vishay avishtaman badai janjal. It's a great disturbance if the mind is running after sense objects. Attachment for wife and children is the binding rope of illusion that leads one to death. Janasya mohoyam aham mameti. Stri putra maya jal ei saba kal. Kal, it is death. It is death for spiritual life, these material attachments. Daive kona bhagyavana sadhu sanga paye, vishay avesha chhadi krishna re bhajay. If by providence a fortunate person achieves the association of a pure devotee, Daive means by good fortune. Daive kona bhagyavana sadhu sanga paye, brahmanda brahmite kona bhagyavana ji, Guru Krishna prasade paye bhakti lata bij. Same meaning. Daive kona bhagyavana sadhu sanga paye. If by great good fortune, someone's good fortune arises and they get sadhu sanga, vishay avesha chhadi. That person who gets sadhu sanga will give up attachment to sense gratification, sense enjoyment, material enjoyment, and Krishna re bhajay. And he starts worshipping Krishna. Satam prasangan mama virya samvidho. So many evidences there. Sei sab aparadha habe punarbar, vishayera dharma e shuna kathasar. In conclusion, the nature of material enjoyment is that one makes the same mistake again and again. Sei sab aparadha habe punarbar. Whatever sins you have committed, you will commit them again if you go out. Vishayera dharma e shuna kathasar. Listen to me, Haridas Thakur is saying, listen to my pravachan. Vishay, a person who runs after sense gratification, whose mind is uncontrolled, adanta gobhir, matirna krishna parata swatova mitho bhipadaye tagriha vratanam, adanta gobhir vishatam tamishram puna punascharvita charvananam. Habe punarbar. Again and again they make the same mistakes. Puna charvita charvananam. Vishayara dharma. This is the nature of a Vishay person. One who is after sense gratification, one who has not controlled the sense, one who is not jitendriya, will continue to do sense again and again and again and again. Because there is no satiation, there is no satisfaction and fulfillment in sense gratification. It is like pouring ghee in a fire. How the fire will get extinguished? It's going to burn even more. You satisfy the senses by putting them in touch with the sense objects. It is like putting poison ivy on the skin. The rash is going to flare up even more. Last verse, verse 63. Bandi thaka hena ashirvada nahi kari, vishaya pasara ahar nishabala hari. Therefore, I did not mean stay here in prison, but rather stay like this, free from thoughts of material enjoyment, and always chant the name of Hari. Ahar nishabala hari. Day and night you chant Hari. That is the meaning of my benediction. Don't misunderstand me. So I will stop here. In this way, Srila Haridas Thakur Mahasaya gave very beautiful pravachan, very beautiful advice, instructions to the fellow jail inmates for their spiritual betterment. Shri Chaitanya Bhagavad ki jai, Srila Vrindavan Das Thakur ki jai, Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Nitai Gaur Premanandi. Hari Hari Bol. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna. Are there any questions or comments?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Thank you so much, Prabhuji. What a wonderful nectarian class. Talked about the glories of so many pure devotees, including our Maharajas, which is always so nice to hear. And thank you for narrating this beautiful pastime of Srila Haridas Thakur. Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. And Parima Mataji, please go ahead.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Danvat pranams. What a wonderful class. Prabhuji, I had this question that just like you mentioned that those who are into sense gratification, Krishna is far away because the sense gratifiers are under Maya. So Prabhuji, at least I'm saying this for myself. Prabhuji, it's in spite of knowing it, it's like I know it. I'm not doing it, but the desire is still there. So, how it's like a struggle. It's like pulling on both the sides are pulling me. And how do you kind of stay in balance? And sometimes you do go out of balance. So it's like, I feel then it's getting Krishna is like totally out of sight. So how do you explain this, Prabhuji? How do I, explain myself?
Hare Krishna. Once my Guru Maharaj Srila Radhanath Swami Maharaj was walking from Radha Gopinath Mandir to Bharati Vidya Bhavan, and a senior disciple, His Grace Dwarkadish Prabhu, all of you know Dwarkadish Prabhu and Vishaka Priya Mataji, they come to America many times. Dwarkadish Prabhu was walking with Srila Guru Maharaj, and Guru Maharaj asked him, how is your bhajan? Vishwarup Prabhu said, Maharaj, I am struggling. Maharaj put his hand on Vishwarup Prabhu's shoulder, smiled and said, thank you. Thank you for struggling. You said that it's a struggle, right? We are being pulled from both sides. Maya is pulling and Krishna Bhakti is pulling us. What is our duty? Our duty is to struggle. Yuddhacha. Ma manusmara yuddhacha. Tasmat sarveshu kaleshu ma manusmara yuddhacha. Mai arpita mano buddhir ma meva shashi asamshaya. We have to fight. We have to fight, and our weapons in the fight is Hare Krishna Mahamantra, association of devotees, Srila Prabhupada's books, the instructions of our Guru Varga, the shelter of our Gurujans. This is our armory. These are our weapons. Srila Bhakti Tirtha Swami Maharaj very famously said that a devotee is a spiritual warrior. So yes, we are in a war. We have our weapons and we have to fight. Yuddhacha, as Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita. Ma manusmara and yuddhacha. We have to think of Krishna, be Krishna conscious, and we have to fight, we have to keep struggling. You said that we resist the temptations and we try not to engage in sense gratification, but the desire for sense gratification is still there. That's what you said.
Yes, Prabhu.
And that is very true. In Bhagavad Gita, Krishna also says, what can repression accomplish? What can repression accomplish? How long are you going to repress the mind, suppress the mind? Therefore, Krishna, Vishaya Vinivartante Niraharasya Dehinam Raso Varjam Rasopasya Param Drishtva Nivartate. Param Drishtva Nivartate. We have to situate ourselves in the higher taste. Higher taste. Krishna consciousness is the higher taste. Krishna Prasad is the higher taste. Krishna Sankirtan is the higher music. Krishna Bhakta Sangha is the higher association. So everything is Param Drishtva. Everything is better in Krishna consciousness. We should understand this. We should experience this. And if you associate with high-class devotees, we will experience the beauty of Krishna consciousness. We will experience the energy, the positive energy of Krishna consciousness. Amarendra Prabhu is in Dallas. This morning I was talking to him. His voice was very sore. I said, Prabhuji, kya ho gaya? Khasi ho gayi? You got a sore throat? He said, nahi, 2 दिन से 2-3 programs हो रहे हैं and जोर से हरि नाम संकीर्तन हो रहा है, तो गला बैठ गया. He said, so I said, Prabhu, why you strain yourself so much? इतना क्यों strain करते हो? थोड़ा सा शांत कीर्तन करो ना, आराम से बैठ के. So Amarendra Prabhu said कि यार रूप गोस्वामी कहते हैं, अब श्रील रामानंद राय कहते हैं अंत्य लीला में, when Mahaprabhu tells Rupa Goswami to read his poetry to Ramananda Rai. Ramananda Rai स्वयं बहुत बड़े कवि है, रूप गोस्वामी कविता उन्हें सुनाते हैं, तो सबके everybody their minds are reeling रूप गोस्वामी कविता सुन के. So then it is mentioned in Chaitanya Charitamrita, what good is that poetry which hits the heart but doesn't make the mind reel? The real poetry is that which stuns us and makes our mind reel in ecstasy. So real kirtan is that which makes our throat sore. We lose our voice. Itna kirtan. I remember my Guru Maharaj Srila Radhanath Swami Maharaj once on Prabhupada appearance day, Nandotsav. He very famously said, if you can walk straight on Prabhupada's appearance day, that means you have not celebrated Janmashtami properly. जन्माष्टमी के रात को इतना नाचना है निर्जल, without food, water, इतना नाचना है कीर्तन में, we have to dance so much that we cannot walk the next day. That means you have celebrated Janmashtami properly. Then you are qualified for Srila Prabhupada's Vyas Puja. You should not be able to get up also. And all night we have been awake, and again for Mangal Arati on Prabhupada Vyas Puja. I don't know why I was saying all this. But yes, so we have to Tivrana Bhakti Yogena Yeta Purusha Param. Yeah, we may be Sarva Kamova. But if we are Tivrana Bhakti Yogena Yata Purusha Param, then definitely Param Vijayate Shri Krishna Sankirtanam. Krishna will win the struggle. Shri Krishna Param Vijayate Shri Krishna Sankirtanam. Krishna will be victorious in the struggle, but we have to keep struggling. Krishna will win the war for us, undoubtedly, because Krishna is Ajit. He can never be defeated. Mayadhyakshana Prakriti Swedasa Characharam. Daivesha Gunamai Mama Maya Durataya Mameva Prapadyante Maya Metam Tarantite. Definitely Krishna will be victorious. Our job is to keep fighting for the 18 days till the war is going on. Krishna is there on our side. He may not be directly fighting, वो सिर्फ बैठे हैं पार्थ के रथ पे. He's just sitting, appears to be just sitting, but he's manipulating everything. He will make sure we win. We just have to keep 18 days से पहले रुकना नहीं है. We should not give up. We should not put the Gandiv down. We should just keep fighting. Spiritual warrior. Keep fighting. As far as the desire for sense gratification is concerned, our acharyas have given a very nice example. Pariyamata, you are listening? Please listen to this.
Absolutely.
Listen to this example very carefully. It's very important. Our acharyas explain. You said, na, ki we know we don't have to do, but then the mind goes here and there, and there's always a struggle. So, Guru Karanadhar, in that verse in Srimad Bhagavatam, where it is mentioned that this human body, human birth, is like a boat. Guru Karanadhar. Krishna is the captain of the boat. The Vedas and the Shastra, they are like the favorable winds. And we are the passenger in the boat. And we are headed to our destination. What is our destination? Jivane Marane Gati Arana Himor Radha Krishna Pranamor Yugala Kishore. Radha and Krishna are our destination. Vasudeva Paragati. So we are headed to Golok Vrindavan. We are headed to Radha Krishna in this boat of the human body with the favorable winds of Srimad Bhagavatam, Chaitanya Charitamrita, Bhagavad Gita, the Shastras. And our Guru Varga are the captains. They have taken control. They are doing. And we are the passenger. So my question is, who is the mind? Mind is a bird on this boat. What is the nature of a bird on a boat? It takes a flight and flies here and there. Now we are in the middle of an ocean. We are headed to our destination, and the mind is the bird on the boat, and we are attached. This is my parrot. This is my pet parrot. He is our favorite pet. He is the only company we have. We only have our mind, right? With all our thoughts, all our desires. So ek man hi to hai. So we have our mind, we are attached to it. So on the ship, there is no company. We are traveling, and only company we have is our mind, a bird, and the bird flies away from the boat. Now we know this is in the middle of the ocean. There is no island anywhere. This bird is going to tire out and he's going to fall in the ocean and die. So what do? We turn the ship. We turn the ship and start chasing after the bird. Oh bird, wait, don't go too far away. There is miles and miles and miles and miles of ocean. You will not see any landing place. You will die. Come back to the boat. Come back to the boat. Come back. ऐसा करते हैं ना? That's when we run behind the mind. Mind says, I want that Vishaya for the Indriya. And we follow the mind. So we are steering our boat away from the destination and going after the restless mind, which is like a bird which has taken a flight.
Yes.
Our acharyas explain us, don't do that. Keep driving, keep going towards the destination. The bird is very intelligent because with the mind who is sitting, intelligence. Intelligence is there with the mind and the subtle body. Intelligence will tell the mind, Baba, itna dur mat udo. There is no landing place. The only landing place is the body. The only landing place is the boat. Come back to the boat. We don't have to chase after the mind. We have to keep going. Guru Karanadhar. Follow Guru Sadhu Shastra. Follow the favorable winds of Shastra. Follow the captain, Guru. Let Guru drive the boat in the direction Guru is saying. Keep going, keep going, keep going. 100% guarantee the bird will turn around and come and land on the boat again. We don't have to go. If we go behind the bird, then we will lose the way. Don't listen to the mind. The mind will make so many proposals. I want this, I want that. Just neglect it. You listen to Guru and Shastra and keep going, keep going, keep going. The mind will have to come because where else will the mind go? The mind's resting place is the body, the gross body, which is the boat. Yes. The bird has to come back to the boat. The bird knows it all too well that it has no other landing place. Don't run after the bird. Let the bird come back. The bird will come back. You just keep going, keep going. Follow Guru, follow Shastra. Is it okay, Mataji?
Yes, Prabhu. Hare Krishna. Thank you, Prabhuji. Thank you so much.
Hare Krishna. Pratham Arora Prabhu, please go ahead. Is that Pawan Krishna Prabhu?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Hare
Krishna.
Dandavad Pranam, Prabhuji. So good to hear from you. Hare Krishna.
Same. Prabhuji, thanks for the wonderful lecture, and you raised many important points, like how we should be always eager for the association of pure devotees, and also the dangers that are there, like when we become over familiar. So I was just wondering, Prabhuji, like, are there some checks that you should be taking, like, because like it often happens that we want to associate with devotees, but we end up troubling them. So how could, like, what are some checks or what are some symptoms that we should be looking for so that we don't end up troubling other devotees in that, or like maybe becoming familiar, which is not good for our devotional service?
Hare Krishna. So Pavan Krishna Prabhu, it depends on our attitude. Why we want to associate with devotees. If we want to associate with them when it is their bhajan time, or if we want to associate with them for some, asking them some mundane questions that are not very important, then we are wasting their time. If we start thinking that because this devotee is giving me association, I am equal to this devotee, then we are developing a mundane tendency. Then that is not bhakti anukul. It is not favorable for our bhakti. So there are three types of questions that we can ask devotees when we are in their association. One is a question that is pertinent, that is causing some disturbance in our execution of Krishna consciousness. हम किसी सिद्धांत पे अटक गए. We are not able to get a clarification and it is bothering us in our bhajan. And we ask question सुलझने के लिए, to get a solution, to get a proper understanding of the right siddhanta. We ask a question, relevant question. That is a first class question. To ask such questions, we should always approach the senior devotees. They will welcome it at the appropriate time, not 6 o'clock in the morning, 5 o'clock in the morning when they are doing their bhajan. But every sadhak, every devotee has certain time that they use to associate with devotees. So we should know that time and approach them during that time. So that is one, and approach them with the first class questions. Now, Other types of question, second type of question is question that is not really relevant, but just out of curiosity one wants to ask. कि ये ऐसा क्यों, वैसा क्यों? You know, what do you think about this controversy? What is your opinion about that controversy? So it may not be really relevant to our own personal bhajan, but we are just curious, inquisitive. So those kinds of questions should not really be entertained. They should not be asked because we may be wasting time of the senior devotee. Because उन प्रश्नों की वजह से हमारी कोई भजन में कोई बाधा नहीं है. तो why ask them? No? So those questions are not so important. They don't deserve to be asked. And then third types of questions are outright inappropriate questions. They're inappropriate questions where we start, Are Prabhuji, I heard that that the devotee is getting divorced. Did you hear anything about that? Why are they getting divorced? उनको तो बच्चे हैं, ऐसा क्यों? We have nothing to do with that. It is just a gossip. It is gramya katha. So such questions we should never ask. So there are three types of questions: relevant questions, questions that are not relevant, and questions that are inappropriate. First category of questions we should ask and we should approach qualified senior superior Vaishnavas with humility. It is not a waste of time. They will also get immense pleasure and we will also get immense pleasure. That is Guhyam Akhyati Prachati. Or that is Machitta Madgata Prana Bodhayanta Parasparam Kathayantascha Mam Nityam Tushyanti Cha Ramanti Cha. Ramanti Cha. The devotees will feel happy answering such questions. And second and third category questions. Second category questions we should avoid as much as possible. Third category questions we should never ask. Is that helpful? Pawan Krishna Prabhu?
Yes, Prabhuji, certainly. Thanks a lot.
Hare Krishna. Taruni Radha Mataji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, thank you for today's beautiful class. My question is, Prabhu, you were saying we're discussing in the class, devotee association is very important. Seeing Giri Govardhan as a devotee of Krishna, try to, in that mood we try to approach. I would like to know from you if you can explain how we can worship in that mood and then how we can go deeper in that approach.
Mataji, I could not understand. Can you type your question in one sentence? The final part, I could not get. I could not understand. I was trying very hard. Your voice was breaking up. The audio was not clear.
Can you hear me now, Prabhuji, or you want me to type?
This is better. Now just ask me the question.
Yeah. How can we approach Giri Govardhan in the mood of devotee? Giri Govardhan can be worshipped as Krishna himself or as a devotee of Krishna. So if we are trying to develop worship Giri Govardhan in the mood of a devotee, with the view of associating with the devotee or serving the devotee. So in that mood, if you're approaching, I would like to know how we can deepen our bhajan.
Taruni Radha Mata, you're asking how we should worship, what bhav we should worship Govardhan Shila?
If we want to worship Govardhan Shila in the mood of a devotee, right? How can we intensify that?
You want to worship Govardhan Shila in the mood of a devotee?
Yes, Prabhu.
Okay, तो उस भाव को कैसे पुष्ट करना है? How to nourish that bhav?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Okay, so you are basically worshipping Govardhan the way Srimati Radharani sees Govardhan, Haridasa Varya. So that is very good. You can worship like that. Govardhan can be worshipped as Krishna, as Srimad Bhagavatam mentions, where Krishna himself expanded himself into Govardhan and appeared and ate all the offerings. So he is Giriraj. But Srimati Radharani calls him Haridasa Varya, the best among the servants of Hari. And Mataji, you want to worship Govardhan as a devotee. So that is actually a first-class mood. First-class mood. So in that mood, you can have Radha Krishna deities and you can have Govardhan Shila with Radha Krishna, and your meditation should be Kandare Kandarete. In every cave of Govardhan, my Radha and Krishna are enjoying their loving pastimes. And you can chant Govardhan Vas Prarthana Dashakam by Srila Raghunath Das Goswami, which is in this mood, that it is Haridasa Varya. Govardhan is Haridasa Varya. You can recite Govardhan Ashtakam of Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur also, which also describes the many attributes of Govardhan, how Govardhan is engaged in serving the divine couple Radha and Krishna. So you can always visualize Radha and Krishna enjoying their pastimes at Govardhan. Everything is there in Govardhan. The Ras Lila takes place in Govardhan as described by Srila Jayadev Goswami in Geet Govind. So Ras Lila is there. Radha Kund, Sham Kund are there at Govardhan. They are the two eyes of Govardhan. The afternoon pastimes take place there. So everything is there in Radha Kund. And you can have Radha Kund, you can keep Radha Kund water, Sham Kund water near your Govardhan Shila. So you have Govardhan, you have Radha Kund, Sham Kund, and you always meditate how Govardhan is assisting Radha and Krishna in their Nikunja Lila, in their divine pastimes in Vrindavan. And you can meditate on the different Leela Sthalis that are there on Govardhan Parikrama Marg. And in this way, you can have Govind Kund, and you can have the Baithak of Shripad Madhavendra Puri, you can have Puchhari, you can have so many different, you can have Kusum Sarovar. And in this way, you can meditate how Govardhan is facilitating the different Leelas of Radha and Krishna. And like I said, always chant the Govardhan Vas Prarthana Dashakam by Srila Raghunath Das Goswami. Do you know that Dashakam?
Yes, Prabhuji. Yes.
So you can meditate on the meaning. Meditate on the meaning of Shri Govardhan Vas Prarthana Dashakam, and see how Govardhan is always serving Radha and Krishna, protecting Radha and Krishna, assisting Radha and Krishna in their Leelas, supplying ingredients for the pleasure of Radha and Krishna. In this way, you can see Govardhan always as the best servant of Krishna. And that is my suggestion. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Thank you so much for this beautiful answer. Thank you.
Hare Krishna. Okay, thank you. So we can stop here. No more questions. Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Thank you so much, Prabhu. Very, very beautiful, as always.
That's Osmi.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Koti Dandavat Pranam. Thank you,
Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Hare
Hare Krishna, Dandavat Pranam, Radhe Radhe.
Thank you.
Radhe Radhe.
Hare Krishna.
Class.
Hare Krishna. Vrinda Gopika Mata. Hare Krishna. Thank you.
Prabhupada ki jai. Prabhuji ki jai.
Thank you, dear